age, and any attempt not to acquire the
techniques with too much theory to avoid losing the very essence of establishing the institutions.
I think it's a nice development from this government if they're able to do it. But however, there's a problem attached to it. How will they guarantee the level of skill? You know, the HND, the polytechnic level, we are interested in hands-on program. Are they going to guarantee that that level of practicals that will give students here will still be sustained? Will they be able to sustain it? You know, BSc is more of theories and that. So that's the problem I'm seeing around it. It's a welcome development.
While many see the policy as a breakthrough, others argue that the real challenge lies in implementation, funding, and upgrading the facilities. If successfully implemented, the move could redefine the role of polytechnics in Nigeria's higher education system and bring about a major transformation in tertiary education in Nigeria. In ENUGU, Christopher Lele, Signaturetv News.
Peter will be a prominent figure within the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as signal is planned to seek the party's presidential ticket ahead of the 2027 general elections. He revealed his ambition while addressing supporters at a campaign event for the ADC candidates at the Federal Capital Territory FCT Area Council elections, which took place at Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. In his remarks, Obi said it's clear that he is aiming for the top position and will not settle for a subordinate role in the party's long-term political strategy. He stressed that the AMAC election is closely tied to his wider political aspirations and called on party faithful and local residents to throw their weight behind the ADC candidate. According to Obi's success and access in a AMAC poll will play a crucial role in advancing his political mission, adding that his involvement in the coming elections is as a leading contender and not in a supporting capacity. Obi's supporters, particularly members of the obedient movement, have intensified pressure on the ADC leadership to adopt him as a party's standard bearer for 2027, with many insisting that the ticket should go to Obi alone. However, the ADC is hosting several other high-profile politicians with presidential ambitions, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi. Former National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, John Odige Oyegun, is chairing a 50-man committee to draft a manifesto of the African Democratic Congress. ADC National Chairman David Mark, who inaugurated the committee, urged it to develop policies and a manifesto that would address poverty, which he said is unparalleled under the APC administration. Mark also criticized economic security and health policies of the APC government. He asked the ADC committee to come up with policies that would endear the party to Nigerians. The oath of office was administered by the party's legal advisor. The committee chairman is a former governor of Edo State. He emerged as the national chairman of the APC in 2014, following the merger of the Action Congress of Nigeria, Congress for Progressive Change, and All Nigeria People's Party. Former governor later left the APC. The opposition coalition officially adopted the ADC as its political platform on July 2, 2025, with the aim of contesting the presidential and other elections in 2027. Said it was set to rescue the country from collapse and rebuild its democracy, alleging that the federal government led by the APC had hijacked all democratic institutions and sent the country on a creeping descent into total civilian dictatorship in the last 2 years. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has advised the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress to reschedule their planned protest built for Tuesday, February 3, 2026, citing security concerns. In a joint statement by the NSA spokesperson Benson Opa and the TUC Secretary General N.A. Toro, the two labor unions said a peaceful rally will be staged at the Federal Capital Development Authority as a public demonstration of solidarity with affected workers. The NLC and TUC directed all affiliates and state councils in the Federal Capital Territory to ensure effective mobilization and timely dissemination of the information to their members, adding that full participation in the lawful and peaceful action was expected. However, in a statement on Monday by the Police Park Relations Officer Josephine Ade, the command said it was aware of a proposed peaceful protest and acknowledged the constitutional right of citizens to peaceful assembly. However, Ade disclosed that intelligence reports available to the command indicated plans by the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria and other non-state actors to infiltrate and hijack the protests for purposes that could threaten public peace and security. Ade added that the measure was also aimed at ensuring the safety of residents, protecting freedom of movement, and allowing the unhindered conduct of lawful daily activities within the Federal Capital Territory. Legal practitioner and member of the Nnamdi Kanu legal team, Max Olopara, says that Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo should have paid a courtesy visit to the leader of indigenous people of Biafra at the Sokoto Correctional Center to seek his advice on how to address the issue of Monday Signaturetv. This is said would have been followed up with a dialogue with traders, drivers, professional groups, various stakeholders, and the diaspora community on how to get their buy-in before making a pronouncement. Opera, who featured on Signature Morning, described the order shutting down the Onitsha main market as draconian, dictatorial, and insensitive.
The beginning, and having known that whether you like it or not, that is the painful truth. All the soul leaders don't want to hear. Martin Kalu, as we start today, is the leaders of the Igbos. By omission or commission, that's a position. If you want to know where Martin Kalu is the leader of the Igbos, the day you release Martin Kalu, that's when you understand. And that's if I have said it. As if I said, if you should ask Martin Kalu is the leader of the Igbos, I'm from Iglobe. If I come out in Iglobe now, you cannot see up to 100 persons coming to see me. But if Martin Kalu leave Afaruku Maya and come to Iglobe, Iglobe will be shut down. The earlier we address it, the better for us. Now Kalu has been convicted and sentenced and sent to Sokoto, where he is serving his jail time pending his appeal. Now, as a governor, you want to address this issue. If you are reasonable as a professor you are, what are you expected to do? You should have just, first of all, pay Martin and the kind of cost visit to Sokoto. You have stayed in cost visit in DSSS. I'm talking about Professor Soludo. You pay in cost visit in Sokoto. When you pay in cost visit in Sokoto, you have a discussion with him. You now let him know, please, my dear brother, this thing, look at what you are doing. We have been, I personally have met Mr. President, and my uncle governor has also met. We are also strategizing on how to meet our president. We believe that we shall overcome these challenges. You encourage him. Now, having said that, you said, but the another thing there is that it is not be good, probably when you come out. It happens that the economy of your region is already down. How do we address this issue of sit-at-home? How do you address this issue of sit-at-home? Then you people will discuss.
Abara accused Southeast leaders of using their locations and internally generated revenue meant for the development of a region for the personal aggrandizement. He said the sit-at-home would come to an end the moment the issues being agitated against by Nnamdi Kanu are addressed.
The people that loss of life and the violation of rights are government. The people that cause loss of economic gain and what have you are caused by government. Ask me why. In the sense that Martin Kanu started this agitation and he listed his agenda. Why the agitation? Which is his fundamental right? His fundamental right to agitate, exercising his right of self-determination. Now he started carrying flag, recruiting people. People are following him with his agenda. Radio communication. communication. In fact, Mazina Mikano was even doing that this and that time because of we have gotten it like social media now. If we have it like social media now, you don't need radio, listen to radio. Who cares? Who is it to do? You go to social media, be posting whatever. That is real people are now. Now he was doing this thing. What you should do is this. You arm him with whatever thing he's doing. How do you rubbish him? Rubbish him by going with good manners. Make sure that the industry is built. Make sure that if you are giving an appointment, you can go along. Make sure that the rules are out. Make sure that the money for public is used by public use. Is being utilized for the public, just like P2B say. Make sure that tests are moving. Make sure that you say that the thing will just die about that. It will just die. Who made not kind of popular? It's government that made not kind of popular. Of course, you know. Now when you begin to solve those issues, you begin to the thing will just die naturally.
Meanwhile, the traditional ruler of Ifete Duno in Duno Kofia, local government area of ENUGU State, Igwe Chukwuemeka Ilono, has justified the action taken by Governor Chukwuma Soludo on a one-week closure of the Onitsha main market. Igwe Ilono, who was also a guest at Signature Morning, noted that Soludo had held a series of engagements with the market leaders for the past 3 years to bring an end to the sit-at-home without any positive outcome, prompting the latest action. He said the state has lost a lot because of a weekly market closure, while other businesses left the state because of the impression that the state is not secured. Emmanuel questioned the justification for the continued closure of the markets and sit-at-home when the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra had called for an end to it.
After the closure of the market people went with the governor. And I am also happy and I appreciate it was made public that they were discussing with the governor, and when the governor told them his plans, that they clapped actively for him. Yes, the governor said that for years he's been dialoguing with the market people, begging to open this market. It's affecting people's life. It's affecting the economy of the state and affecting life. That one day defies insecurity. Any investor outside this state will be worried. Any investor that wants to come to this town will say, these people that is very insecure. We cannot go there. Is Anambra insecure? The answer, no. People are making it look like it's insecure. Why are people shouting? Why are people threatening to kill one another? When you remove somebody's life, have you helped the person? When you threaten somebody, if you don't do anything away, I will kill you. Is it the best? I fought in the Nigeria Biafra. I volunteered to serve as a Biafran soldier, and I fought all through. The popular background participated in it, and I'm here telling somebody, look, let us look at this thing from another angle. And you say no. You must shut down the economy of the state. I told you that by doing that, you aggress them. By the way, I asked this young man, is Onitsha market is on the capital of Biafra? Why are they insisting on Onitsha? The governor of a state who is not a pure politician, as you have researched, I have seen a place, I've seen that this place is not helping you or helping any person. And somebody from nowhere stays bush or wherever they are hiding to tell you, don't back it. We are fighting for somebody. The person that you are fighting for say, please allow people to do their business.
Igwe Uluno called for unity of purpose, peace and dialogue by the Igbo and for all to shun all forms of violence and shedding of blood.
But Onyen has said, I don't want it at home. Why are you enforcing it? You are enforcing it for yourself or for who? Can't you that is affecting the southeast? It's making people run away from southeast. The people come from Cameroon, from Kenya, Congo Republic, from Benin Republic, trade. And they say, no, don't go there on Monday. If you come to my community, no outside walks the streets on Monday. No business of non-indigenous opens on Monday because of fear. Why should you frighten people? Now people are running away to Asaba, running away to us, running away to everything, and they are going to suffer. People, they are being born and destroyed. Have you gone them there? They ran away because you have security in your zone. And the people that were selected by us to say, okay, our economy are crying. This thing is destroying the economy. Come, let's talk. And you are running and threatening them. That is a creating state of anarchy, of insecurity. You are frightening people away from the south, and that is what it has only said. Fine. Since 3 years not enough for us to allow that to continue, please go. But he did not drive any person away from Anambra, drive any person away from Southeast. Let's go and stay somewhere else. Let me recover this market, remodel it, and see who will be coming on Monday to trade, because it will help the economy of Anambra. That's all he said.
Still to come, corruption trial of ex-petroleum minister Alison Madueke resumes in London. Kaduna abduction, 80 worshippers return home after weeks in hiding. Stay with us.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left, in all the accounts of Anambra State, 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Proceedings resumed on Monday in London in the corruption and bribery trial of former Nigerian Petroleum Minister Desiani Alison Madueke. Alison Madueke denies multiple charges relating to alleged misconduct while overseeing Nigeria's oil and gas sector. But prosecutors claim she received cash and luxury benefits in exchange for influence over energy contracts. The case has major implications for accountability in the global energy industry. Lawyers for Desiani Alison Madueke, the first woman president of OPEC, denied in a London court Thursday that the former Nigerian minister took bribes in a first formal response at a corruption trial. Alleged offences occurred between 2011 and 2015 when she was Nigeria's oil minister but maintained a UK address. The UK National Crime Agency, which targets international, serious and organised crime, had accused her of receiving the bribes in Britain. In 2023, she was formally charged with accepting bribes, which she has denied. Two others, Dawiya Gama, a brother, and Olatimboye Anyide, are also being prosecuted on bribery charges linked to the case. All three defendants had a British address at the time of the alleged offences, according to the prosecution. 80 worshippers who escaped abduction during a bandit attack at Kunumuwadi community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State have returned to their homes. However, dozens of others remain in captivity as security operatives intensify efforts to rescue the victims. This is according to the village head, Ishaku Danazumi, who said that 80 returnees fled when armed men stormed the community during a church service on January 18, 2026, abducting several people and forcing others to escape for safety. He said that the returnees were hale and hearty upon their return nearly 2 weeks after the incident. Security sources attribute the return of the displaced residents to intensify military operations targeting bandit hideouts across Kajuru and nearby forest corridors. The spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mansiri Hassan, said that the divisional police officer of Kajuru had visited the community where he saw the victims, after which they were profiled and debriefed. The World Bank yesterday put its total ongoing approved development projects and lending operations in the country at over $16 billion spread across several interventions, including education, health, social protection, energy, and infrastructure, among others. This came as the bank's Managing Director of Operations, Anna Bijed, commenced a three-day visit to Nigeria to discuss how the World Bank Group can best support the country's efforts to accelerate growth and job creation. A meeting with the World Bank MD, Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, reaffirmed this administration's commitment to partner with the Bretton Woods institution in developing energy, agriculture, tourism, and human capital in the state. The governor said Lagos was ready to do more to attract investments and partnerships that will improve the living standards of the residents, adding that the state government will do what is necessary to receive more support from the World Bank to improve its infrastructure. Sanwo-Olu will receive the World Bank Group team-led bid day, including the International Finance Corporation, Regional Vice President for Africa, Ethiopia Tarafa, and Lagos House Marina, for the read-out achievements of its administration in the last 6 years through the delivery of the Themes Plus developmental agenda, which had impacted millions of Lagos residents positively. The governor disclosed that Lagos ranked 29th in the Ease of Doing Business Index based on a national ranking 4 years ago, and in that last year the state moved to the first position after doubling its performance in every aspect of its endeavors. In her earlier remarks, Bijde said the World Bank will partner the state in view of the laudable achievements of the Sanwo-Olu-led administration, noting that it was indicative of a national solution. She said there had been a lot of stability in the economy through reforms initiated by the state's current administration. The World Bank MD also pointed out that Lagos remained a major stakeholder on the bank's interventions dashboard, even as a subnational government. Next is business news.
Petroleum marketers have urged the federal government to sell crude oil to Dangote refinery and other local refineries at subsidized rates to cushion Nigerians from rising petrol prices. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria also called for the extension of the Naira for crude deal to modular refineries. Their appeal follows a recent hike in petrol prices to 839 Naira per litre and a surge in global crude prices above $70 per barrel, raising fears of pump prices hitting 1,000 Naira per litre. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria spokesman Chinedu Ukadike said subsidized crude would help stabilize fuel prices and absorb global price shocks, noting that fluctuations in crude prices directly affect petrol and diesel costs. The Nigerian stock market closed January 2026 with about 6.7 trillion naira in capital gains, stimulated by rising global oil prices to around $71.01 per barrel. Analysts say sustained crude strength supports fiscal revenues, boosts investor confidence, and lifts sentiment in energy-linked equities. Nigerian Stock Exchange market capitalization rose to 106.15 trillion naira at end of January from 99.38 trillion naira in December 2025, while the all-share index climbed 6.3% to 165,370.50 points. The rally was driven by expectations of stronger full-year 2025 earnings and renewed interest in fundamentally strong stocks. Reports from financial analysts of 11 major banks notes that rising loan defaults have pushed Nigerian banks' non-performing loans to 21.2 trillion naira by Q3 2025, up 5% from 20.2 trillion naira at end of 2024. 9 banks recorded higher bad loans, with Tier 1 lenders accounting for 17.63 trillion naira, while Tier 2 banks' non-performing loans rose 10% to 3.54 trillion naira. The The Central Bank of Nigeria confirmed the trend, noting the industry non-performing loans ratio climbed to 5.76% as of June 2025, above the 5% regulatory threshold, reflecting mounting repayment pressures on businesses. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry has warned that NAFDAC's renewed enforcement of sachet and small bottle alcohol ban could endanger 800 billion naira in investment and over 5 million jobs. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce President Emeka Obegulu described the move as abrupt and economically disruptive, citing conflict with earlier government directives that suspended the ban until December 2025. While backing public health goals, the Abuja Chamber of Commerce cautioned that an outright ban could fuel illicit alcohol trade and urged regulators to adopt phased consultative enforcement rather than prohibition. This is business news in Global News. Chimizi Zedima reporting for Signature TV News.
Up ahead, foreign stories.
A Kenyan family is seeking answers and support to repatriate the body of their 29-year-old relative who was killed in Ukraine while fighting for Russia. Clinton Yapara Mogesa, 29, initially left Kenya for a job in Qatar in 2024, and his family later learned that he had then traveled to Russia. On Saturday, Ukrainian authorities reported that he had died in a so-called meat assault, one involving high-casualty members in Donetsk, eastern Ukraine, after being recruited in Qatar. They said the Russians did not evacuate his body, and he was carrying the passport of 2 other Kenyans. His death comes amid growing concerns about Kenyans being recruited to fight in the war in Ukraine. Mogesa's family told local Citizen TV that they had sold land to raise money for him to travel to Qatar in search of employment. The government last month said that 18 Kenyans who had been fighting in Russia had been rescued and repatriated. Last November, Kenya's foreign minister said about 200 Kenyans were known to be fighting for Russia and that recruitment networks were still active. Other African countries have reported cases of young people being approached with offers of lucrative jobs in Russia that later led to military recruitment. Ukraine's intelligence assessment estimates that more than 1,400 people from 36 countries in Africa have been recruited to fight for Russia. Ukraine's intelligence agency on Saturday cautioned foreign nationals against traveling to Russia or accepting employment there, particularly informal or illegal work. It said traveling there carries a real risk of being forcefully deployed to assault units without adequate training and with little to no chance of survival. The partial U.S. government shutdown entered its 3rd day on Monday without resolution, as Democrats continue to demand immigration reforms as part of any funding deal to reopen the government. Senate Democrats and Republicans agreed to a package of 5 spending bills on Thursday, but stripped out a 6th bill on full fiscal year funding for the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. The Senate instead approved a 2-week funding for the DHS that gives lawmakers more time to work out disputes over its long-term budget. Democrats want changes to the immigration enforcement operation, including requiring agents to wear body cameras turned on and to not wear masks. The package approved by the Senate must now be cleared by the House of Representatives before it is sent to President Donald Trump's desk for signage. The Senate package includes funding for the Defense Department, the Health Department, the Treasury, the Federal Court System, and other agencies until the end of the 2026 fiscal year on 30th September. But funding for these federal agencies ended at midnight on Saturday, resulting in a partial shutdown as the House is yet to approve it. The effects will be minimal though, as many government services do not operate over the weekend. The House Rules Committee is expected to meet on Monday afternoon to consider the funding package. The Senate-approved package must first clear a procedural hurdle known as the rule vote, which Democrats are expected to vote against. Palestinians have started to enter the Rafah border crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt after it reopened for the movement of people. The crossing has largely been closed since May 2024, when the Gazan side was captured by Israeli forces. The reopening was supposed to happen during the first phase of US President Donald Trump's ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas, which began in October. But Israel blocked it until the end of the return of the body of the last Israeli hostage in Gaza, which happened last week. It will come as a relief to many Palestinians who see it as a lifeline to the world, although there is frustration that only a small number of people and no goods would be allowed through. Around 20,000 sick and wounded Palestinians are waiting to leave Gaza for treatment, according to local hospitals and the World Health Organization, WHO. Israeli reports say only 50 patients, accompanied by 1 or 2 relatives, will be allowed to exit each day, and that 50 people who left Gaza during the war will be allowed to return. The crossing will be run by supervisors from the European Union and local Palestinian staff, while Israel will carry out remote security checks. The WHO will oversee the transfer of patients from territory under Hamas control, transporting them by bus to the crossing border, the so-called Yellow Line, and into territory controlled by the Israeli military, the BBC understands. Trump's 20-point Gaza peace plan says the reopening of the Rafah crossing in both directions will be subject to the same mechanism implanted under a previous ceasefire deal in January last year. Gold and silver prices have continued to fall after a dramatic reversal of a rally that had pushed precious metals to record highs. In Asia trade on Monday, spot gold prices fell more than 9% to $4,403 an ounce, while silver slumped to 15% to less than $72 an ounce. Prices had hit fresh records in January as investors parked money in what they call safe haven assets due to geopolitical uncertainties. Markets had also been worried about the independence of the U.S. Federal Reserve, but metal prices fell on Friday after President Donald Trump nominated Kevin Walsh, a former central bank governor, to be its new chair. The naming of Walsh was welcomed in general by the financial markets, and the dollar rose by 1% on Friday against a number of currencies. While the dollar ticked up, spot gold recorded its sharpest one-day drop since 1983, with a fall of more than 9%, while silver plunged 27%. As well as a continued sell-off among commodities on Monday, Asian stocks also fell, with South Korea's benchmark Kospi leading losses as it dropped by more than 5%. Elsewhere in the region, the Hang Seng in Hong Kong dropped 3%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 was more than 1% lower. In Europe, the UK's FTSE 100 index dropped 0.4% at the start of trade, but mining companies saw sharp falls. Shares in Fresnillo and Endeavour Mining were both down by about 7%. In global energy markets, the price of crude oil fell more than 5%. This is attributed to a number of factors, including major oil producers agreeing to keep output unchanged and signs of de-escalating tensions between the US and Iran. The rise in the value of the US dollar may also have had an impact, as the oil price is denominated in dollars and it makes it more expensive for non-US buyers. And that's it on the international news.
Next is sports news with Christopher Lele.
With just a few days to the kickoff of Nigeria's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against Senegal, the Falconets remain in Ibadan amid uncertainty over the approved venue for the match. The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) announced on Friday that the Confederation of African Football (CAF) had granted approval for a change of venue for the third round first leg qualifier scheduled for Saturday, February 7, 2026. The match was moved from the Lekon Salami Stadium in Ibadan to the MKO Abiola Sports Complex in Abeokuta due to concerns over the deteriorating condition of the Ibadan pitch. NFF Director of Competitions Ruth David confirmed that the Abeokuta facility would host the encounter, noting that the decision followed an inspection of the playing surface at the Lekon Salami Stadium, which had earlier staged a Nigerian second-round qualifier against Rwanda in September 2024. However, despite the Federation's announcement and CAF's approval, the Ogun State government is yet to give final clearance for the match to be played at the MKO Abiola Sports Complex. As a result, the Falconets, who have been camped in Ibadan in preparation for the fixture, have been unable to relocate to Abeokuta to acclimatize the new playing surface. South Africa has announced its readiness to host the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations (WAFCON) following Morocco's reported withdrawal from the tournament just 2 months before the scheduled kickoff. The 2026 WAFCON is due to take place from March 17 to April 3, 2026, under a compressed calendar that follows the delayed 2024 edition. That tournament was affected by global scheduling challenges, including the Paris Olympic Games. South Africa's Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Piers Mabe, confirmed the development on Sunday evening, revealing that the country had agreed to take over hosting responsibilities at short notice. Speaking at the Super League award ceremony in Johannesburg, Mabe said the handover had been concluded, leaving South Africa with a limited preparation window for Africa's flagship women's football competition. The tournament also serves as a qualification pathway for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil.
Tonight, I would like to announce that South Africa will be hosting the 2026 WAFCON, which we all know that is a qualifying tournament for the 2027 Women FIFA World Cup to be held in Brazil. Shine, South Africa. So, Banyana, this belongs to us.
Morocco's decision to withdraw has come as a surprise, particularly after the country successfully hosted the Men's Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. Neither Moroccan authorities nor the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has issued an official statement explaining the withdrawal. Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen delivered a standout performance on Sunday, marking a major personal milestone as Galatasaray cruised to a commanding 4-0 victory over Kayserispor in the Turkish Super League. Osimhen scored his 200th career goal during the encounter, a landmark achieved through 165 goals at club level and 35 strikes for the Nigerian national team. The prolific striker was central to Galatasaray's dominance and was deservedly named man of the match. The Nigerian international featured for 82 minutes and produced an all-round performance, completing 88% of his passes, creating 2 chances, registering 7 shots on target, and contributing a goal and an assist. Osimhen has now scored 14 goals in 20 appearances across all competitions this season, underlining his consistent impact in attack. Atletico Madrid said they have reached a deal with Serie A team Atalanta to sign Nigeria forward Ademola Lookman. Lookman is already in Madrid to sign his contract, the Spanish club said Sunday. The 28-year-old played for Fulham and Leicester before joining Atlanta in 2022. He also previously played for Leipzig and Everton. Lookman scored 3 goals for Nigeria in the Africa Cup of Nations, where his team finished 3rd after losing to Morocco in a shootout in the semi-finals. Atletico are 3rd in La Liga, 9 points behind 2nd place Real Madrid and 10 points behind leaders Barcelona after 22 matches. In tennis, Carlos Alcaraz has already broken a lot of records in his young career, but in Melbourne on Sunday night, he broke his biggest one yet. He battled past Novak Djokovic for his first Australian Open title 2-6, 6-2, 6-3, 7-5, and having already won the other 3 Grand Slam events, twice each, no less. The 22-year-old Spaniard has become the youngest man in tennis history to complete the career Grand Slam. The previous record dates all the way back to 1938, when the late Dunbarge, a slightly older 22 at the time, completed his set at Roland Garros. Having won his first US Open title at age 19, his first Wimbledon title at age 20, and his first Roland Garros title at age 21, it's only fitting that Alcaraz would win his first Australian Open this year at age 22. That's Sport News on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lele.
Let's turn our attention now to entertainment news with Quinette Mokonta.
Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti has etched his name into history as the first African musician to be conferred with a Lifetime Achievement Awards by the Recording Academy. The honor was bestowed posthumously at the 2026 Special Merit Awards in Los Angeles at the weekend, a day before the main Grammy Awards ceremony. His children, Yeni, Kunle, Shalewa, and Femi Kuti, were present to receive the award on his behalf. While addressing the audience, Yeni Kuti thanked the Recording Academy and said she believed their father would be full of smiles wherever he is. She also recognized her siblings, Moturayo and Sheun, who were absent, and applauded her nephew, Made Kuti, for pushing Afrobeat to greater heights. Femi Kuti, in his remarks, expressed appreciation to those who have helped sustain and spread Afrobeat across the world, including DJs, media practitioners, their record label partisans, Lego teams, and fans globally. He described the recognition as a milestone not just for their late father, but for Africa and the global fight for justice. Fela shared the prestigious honor with other celebrated figures in global music, among them Whitney Houston, Chaka Khan, Che and Paul Simon. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has paid a glowing tribute to the legendary Afrobeat pioneer on the award. In a tribute he personally issued in Abuja to celebrate Fela's awards, President Tinubu described the late musician as a towering figure whose influence transcended music, culture, and generations, saying the world had honored a giant. The president said Fela was more than a musician, portraying him as a fearless voice of the people, a philosopher of freedom, and a revolutionary force whose music confronted injustice and reshaped global sound. Kendrick Lamar dominated the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, sweeping all 4 rap categories. His album Jinx won Best Rap Album, while TV Off earned Best Rap Song. Luther, featuring Senza, won Best Melodic Rap Performance and Record of the Year, and Chains and Whip took Best Rap Performance. With these wins, Lamar surpassed Jay-Z to become the most awarded rapper in Grammy history with 27 awards. Elsewhere, Olivia Dean won Best New Artist, continuing the streak of female winners since 2017. Billie Eilish claimed Song of the Year for Wildflower. Bad Bunny made history as the first Spanish-language artist to win Album of the Year with Debbie Tyra Mas Photos. Pharrell Williams received the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, while Beyoncé remains the most awarded artist ever with 35 Grammys.
And we say, you know what? We're going to do just that. No cursing, and we're going to make sure that this song represents love. So I want to appreciate and give thanks to SZA.
I just want to say thank you to Kendrick for lifting me up. I just am a small part of this record, but what I really wanted to say is, please don't fall into despair. I know that right now is a scary time. I know the algorithms tell us that it's so scary and all is lost. There's been world wars, there's been plagues, and we have gone on. We can go on. We need each other. We need to trust each other and trust ourselves, trust your heart. We're not governed by the government, we're governed by God, and I thank you so much. So God bless you, that's all I want to say.
That's right. So with that being said, we're going to continue to move like that. Luther forever. Cheryl, thank you so much. If you're out there listening, watching, we appreciate you at the bottom of our hearts. Luther forever. Thank y'all.
8-year-old American singer Aura V has made history as the individually credited Grammy winner in history. Her group, Futek and Aura V, a father-daughter, won Best Children's Music Album for Harmony at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards on Sunday. making her the youngest winner ever. ENUGU broke the record set by Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy, when she won her first Grammy in 2021 at the age of 9. Blue Ivy won the Grammy for Best Music Video for her contribution to Brown Skin Girl at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards, making her one of the youngest Grammy winners in history. The song also features her mother, Beyoncé, Nigerian singer Wizkid, and Guyanese rapper Saint John. However, Saint John was not credited in the Grammy win because he didn't appear in the music video.
Give it up for the youngest individual Grammy winner in history, my daughter, Aura V.
I just want to say that it is an honor to be here today. I was not expecting us to go this far. Shout out to Leve, because I just saw her on the red carpet, and I got to talk to her for a little bit. And I know that she won a Grammy too, so congratulations to her.
At the 68th Annual Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, Signaturetv and Ariana Grande captured the trophy for Best Pop Duo Group Performance for their powerful rendition of Defying Gravity. The track featured in the hit musical Wicked stood out in the highly competitive field that included entries from Katsir, Rose, and Bruno Mars, Senza with Kendrick Lamar, and the animated group Hunter X with Golden. The win marks another major Grammy milestone for both artists. For Grande, it's her second Grammy in this category following her 2021 triumph with Lady Gaga on Rain on Me. Erivo added to her Grammy collection with this momentous collaboration within the popland with Jelly Roll, which blends contemporary country with themes of faith, redemption, and gratitude. Acceptance speech. Thank you.
Abbas Patti, Tina Davis, Ghazi Nima, Nate Stevenson, and the entire Empire team for believing in me. So this is for them, for all. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
And that's the entertainment news. Queenette Nwokonta's Signature TV News.
That's the news this hour. I am Barry Kumo Ado. Thank you very much for watching.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
We come from a place of values, a place where hard work and discipline is taught early. We were taught that excellence is intentional so that we stand firm, build and do our work well, rooted in the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people. Our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build influence with intention. Our voices reflect who we are and carry our identity. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts. This is who we are, rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life, and purposeful in every action we take. It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible. And it is history taking shape from the dream team. We can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC. This is bigger than one person.
This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Signaturetv, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Hello, beautiful people of Nigeria. Good evening and welcome to Signature Evening.
This is the second day in the month of February. February, here we are, finally. It's so exciting to be in this month. Happy New Month to you, of course, and I hope you had a beautiful and amazing weekend. My name is Christopher Lele. Tonight on Signature Evening, our topic on People's Forum is a sit at home in Anambra finally over? That's the question on the lips of many Nigerians. But before we delve into that, we've got a couple of things that we shall be lining up on today's program. My name is Christopher Lele.
And I am Princess Ken Ochama. The number to call on People's Forum is 081-4898-6005. Welcome. Now, on our news, in the news segment tonight, our headlines for this evening are: coup attempt was a target supposed to be shot, General Musa. Makoko demolition. Lagos Assembly to meet community leaders Tuesday. Delta Governor urges health science graduates to serve humanity. Dangote NNPCL seal gas supply deal. In the news segment, coming up next.
The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, says he was one of the targets of a coup plot and was meant to be shot by the orchestrators. General Musa spoke in an interview days after the military said some of the 16 officers arrested last October will face trial over an attempt to overthrow President Bola Tinubu. In October, the military arrested 16 officers over acts of indiscipline and breaches of service regulations. But last week, authorities said findings have identified a number of officers with allegations of plotting to overthrow the government, which is inconsistent with the ethics, values, and professional standards required of members of the AFN. Several top government officials and other prominent leaders were allegedly penciled to be killed in the coup attempt. Reports have linked the attempted coup to the cancellation of the 65th Independence Anniversary Parade. The Lagos State House of Assembly has invited leaders of communities affected by the demolition in Makoko and adjoining waterfront settlements to a meeting on Tuesday. A letter signed by the clerk of the House, Olalekan Onafeko, said the meeting was in response to a petition submitted by the communities over the demolition and eviction of residents. Addressed to the community leaders, the letter convened a meeting of Committee on Rules and Business at the Chambers Conference Room and requested the presentation of relevant documents to facilitate deliberations. The invitation comes amid sustained unrest and hardship triggered by the demolition of structures in the waterfront communities in recent months. Residents and human rights groups have repeatedly protested demolitions, alleging that they were carried out without adequate notice, compensation, or resettlement plans, leaving many families homeless and in dire conditions. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obovere has charged graduates of the Delta State College of Health Sciences and Technology, Ufoma Ogele, to deploy their skills in service to humanity as the institution held its 8th convocation ceremony. The governor, who was represented at the ceremony by the Commissioner of Higher Education, Professor Tunukari, congratulated the graduates on the successful completion of their programs and urged them to contribute meaningfully to society through professionalism and compassion. Oborevere also encouraged the graduates to pursue further academic and professional development while commending the Governing Council and management of the college for organizing a convocation ceremony after a long interval. An enhanced gas supply deal that will ensure adequate supply to meet ongoing expansion projects by Dangote Group has been signed by the Dangote Industries Limited and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. The deal saw 3 subsidiaries of DIL, Dangote Petroleum Refinery, Dangote Fertilizer Plant, and Dangote Cement PLC, scaling up their gas sales and purchase agreements with 2 subsidiaries of the NNPC, Nigerian Gas Marketing Limited, and NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company Limited. The upscaled supply agreement is expected to support Dangote Group's Vision 2030, resulting in released output, better and cleaner energy supply. The agreements were signed at the unveiling of the NNPC Gas Master Plan 2026, tagged NGMP 2026, held at the NPCL Towers at the weekend in Abuja. Dangote Petroleum Refinery MD David Bird said signed on behalf of the refinery, while the Group Managing Director of Dangote Cement PLC, Arvid Pathak, signed on behalf of the cement company. Mustafa Matawali signed on behalf of Dangote Fertilizer FZE. Bird said that the agreement demonstrated the refinery's bold steps to expand its capacity. According to him, the agreement marked a critical milestone in the expansion drive, as well as a proactive measure to lock in vast energy requirements from the anticipated increase in its production capacity. Pathak described the agreement as an enabler of DCP's strategic objectives. He outlined that the agreement guarantees the gas required to support the drive towards CNG adoption as autogas and to meet the increasing gas demand as local production capacities are expanded. He added that the partnership also promotes the adoption of cleaner fuel for both autogas through CNG and gas to support increased production output. And that's it for this segment. Stay with us for Fashionista.
Welcome back. On today's episode of Fashionista, we're looking at the history of fashion, the evolution of fashion in Ghana. But remember, on People's Forum, we're discussing, is Sit at Home in Anambra finally over? The number to call is 081-4898-6005. Fashionista coming up next. Enjoy. Welcome to Fashionista. Ghanaian fashion has evolved from pre-colonial draped fabrics and indigenous textiles, symbolizing heritage, through colonial-era Western influences, prints, tailored fits, to a vibrant modern scene blending tradition with global trends like streetwear, ethical production, and sophisticated designs seen in contemporary silhouettes, upcycled fabrics, and a rise in local designers, creating culturally relevant, global appealing styles. Historically rooted in textiles like kente, the scene has transformed through colonial influence and post-independence national pride into today's African chic movement led by designers like Christy Brown and Ajibang. On today's episode of Fashionista, we're going from the prehistorical, colonial, and independent, then the modern evolution of fashion in Ghana. Fashion was designed by hand-woven textiles and body adornment in the pre-colonial era. Kente cloth, originating from the Ashanti and Ewe people, was reserved for royalty and sacred rites. Men and women wrapped their bodies in this clothes, accented by intricate beads and gold jewelry. Deep cultural roots with fabrics like kente from the Ewe and Ekon people, kete and gonja, hand-woven with global patterns and colors. Initial styles evolved wrapping fabric around the body, with men wearing garments like the akwanzan, a wrapped cloth. In the colonial era, the introduction of European culture brought tailored garments. This era saw the rise of the kaba and slit, a tailored blouse and long wrap skirt, which became a distinctly Ghanaian adaptation of Victorian-era styles. Elite women also incorporated Western accessories like fascinators, gloves, and socks in their attire. In the independence era, under President Kwame Nkrumah, fashion became a tool for political identity. Traditional textiles like kente were promoted as symbols of national pride. This period also saw the emergence of cosmopolitanism, where designers like Kwaifo Okai experimented with new silhouettes like the Akwanza, a manageable fashion of traditional wrapped garments. Then in the modern evolution, this decade saw the Friday Wear Initiative, encouraging Ghanaians to wear local prints to work, which revitalized the local textile market. Western trends like skinny jeans and hip-hop inspired streetwear merged with African prints to create a unique fusion. Pioneering designers like the late Kofi Ansah paved the way for modern icons like Aisha Ayensu, whose designs have been worn by global stars like Beyoncé. Modern Ghanaian brands like Studio 189 and Osei Duro focuses on sustainable hand-dyed fabrics and ethical production, positioning Ghana as a leader in the global slow fashion movement. In 2025, Ghana's fashion is characterized by global Afrocentricity, where traditional craftsmanship meets modern ethical production. Today, Accra is a major fashion hub, hosting annual events like Accra Fashion Week and the Chalet Wote Street Art Festival, which showcases avant-garde and street styles to an international audience. And that's it on today's episode of Fashionista.
All right, coming up next is both our entertainment and sports package for the evening. Do enjoy.
Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti has etched his name into history as the first African musician to be conferred with a Lifetime Achievement Awards by the Recording Academy. The honor was bestowed posthumously at the 2026 Special Merit Awards in Los Angeles at the weekend, a day before the main Grammy Awards ceremony. His children, Yeni, Kunle, Shalewa, and Femi Kuti, were present to receive the award on his behalf. While addressing the audience, Yeni Kuti thanked the Recording Academy and said she believed their father would be full of smiles wherever he is. She also recognized her siblings, Moturayo and Sheun, who were absent, and applauded her nephew, Made Kuti, for pushing Afrobeat to greater heights. Femi Kuti, in his remarks, expressed appreciation to those who have helped sustain and spread Afrobeat across the world, including DJs, media practitioners, their record label partisans, Lego teams, and fans globally. He described the recognition as a milestone not just for their late father, but for Africa and the global fight for justice. Fela shared the prestigious honor with other celebrated figures in global music, among them Whitney Houston, Chaka Khan, Che and Paul Simon. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has paid a glowing tribute to the legendary Afrobeat pioneer on the award. In a tribute he personally issued in Abuja to celebrate Fela's awards, President Tinubu described the late musician as a towering figure whose influence transcended music, culture, and generations, saying the world had honored a giant. The president said Fela was more than a musician, portraying him as a fearless voice of the people, a philosopher of freedom, and a revolutionary force whose music confronted injustice and reshaped global sound. Kendrick Lamar dominated the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, sweeping all 4 rap categories. His album Jinx won Best Rap Album, while TV Off earned Best Rap Song. Luther featuring Senza won Best Melodic Rap Performance, and Record of the Year, and Chains and Whip took Best Rap Performance. With these wins, Lamar surpassed Jay-Z to become the most awarded rapper in Grammy history with 27 awards. Elsewhere, Olivia Dean won Best New Artist, continuing the streak of female winners since 2017. Billie Eilish claimed Song of the Year for Wildflower. Bad Bunny made history as the first Spanish-language artist to win Album of the Year with Debbie Tyra Mas Photos. Pharrell Williams received the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, while Beyoncé remains the most awarded artist ever with 35 Grammys.
And we say, you know what? We're going to do just that. No cursing, and we're going to make sure that this song represents love. So I want to appreciate and give thanks to SZA.
I just want to say thank you to Kendrick for lifting me up. I just am a small part of this record, but what I really wanted to say is please don't fall into despair. I know that right now is a scary time. I know the algorithms tell us that it's so scary and all is lost. There's been world wars, there's been plagues, and we have gone on. We can go on. We need each other. We need to trust each other and trust ourselves, trust your heart. We're not governed by the government, we're governed by God, and I thank you so much. So God bless you, that's all I want to say.
That's right. So with that being said, we're going to continue to move like that. Luther forever. Cheryl, thank you so much if you're out there listening, watching. We appreciate you at the bottom of our hearts. Luther forever. Thank y'all.
8-year-old American singer Aura V has made history as the individually credited Grammy winner in history. Her group, Futek and Aura V, a father-daughter, won Best Children's Music Album for Harmony at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards on Sunday, making her the youngest winner ever. Aura V broke the record set by Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy, when she won her first Grammy in 2021 at the age of 9. Blue Ivy won the Grammy for Best Music Video for her contribution to Brown Skin Girl at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards, making her one of the youngest Grammy winners in history. The song also features her mother, Beyoncé, Nigerian singer Wizkid, and Guyanese rapper Saint John. However, Saint John was not credited in the Grammy win because he didn't appear in the music video.
Give it up for the youngest individual Grammy winner in history, my daughter, Aura V.
I just want to say that it is an honor to be here today. I was not expecting us to go this far. Shout out to Leve, because I just saw her on the red carpet, and I got to talk to her for a little bit. And I know that she won a Grammy too, so congratulations to her.
At the 68th Annual Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande captured the trophy for Best Pop Duo Group Performance for their powerful rendition of Defying Gravity. The track featured in the hit musical Wicked stood out in the highly competitive field that included entries from Katsir, Rose, and Bruno Mars, Senza with Kendrick Lamar, and the animated group Hunter X with Golden. The win marks another major Grammy milestone for both artists. For Grande, it's her second Grammy in this category, following her 2021 triumph with Lady Gaga on Rain on Me. Erivo added to her Grammy collection with this momentous collaboration, highlighting her versatility across music and theater. Their performance-driven win underscores the Grammy Awards' recognition of genre-blending excellence and the enduring appeal of musical theater within the pop landscape.